Happy Friday, friends. I'm Wendy Hobby, and I'm here to give you Friday's financial tip. And today it's a tip about communication about money and not money itself. And so I want to first share a funny story, well, at least I think it's funny, that happened early on in my marriage. I worked in the mortgage industry. I loved my job. I loved the people I work with. I loved the company. Everything was great. But I had developed this really bad habit in the office. And I didn't know why I felt compelled to talk to Eric about it, but I did. And so I came home from work one day and I said, "Hey, honey, there's something I need to tell you." And of course, that created in him so much anxiety because if you've ever heard those words, it's generally not going to be a great conversation. But ultimately, it was nothing serious at all. And all I wanted to tell him was that I had developed this bad habit of eating a Snickers bar every day at work for the last couple of months. And I hadn't gained weight or anything. I don't know why this was important to me. But what Eric said was like, please never, never use those words again. And I have not. Since that day, I've never said, hey, I need to talk about something. So that leads me to the conversation about finances, because oftentimes we approach our spouse and we say, I need to talk to you about something, and it's, money related. And if you have a communication problem about money, then maybe that rubs your partner the wrong way. So the tip is, instead of just blindsiding your spouse with a conversation about finances, whenever you feel like it needs to happen, you should schedule an appointment with your spouse. And it doesn't need to be like a super serious sit down, have a serious conversation, but it needs to be a pre-planned event. So ask them, number one, ask them for an appointment and put it on your calendar. If you're a calendar kind of family, put it on the calendar so that you can anticipate it and your spouse can anticipate it. The second thing I want you to remember is that you should be specific about what it is you want to talk about. So maybe it's you want to talk about the budget for the month, or maybe you want to talk about a bill that came in and you're not sure what to do with it or how to pay it or whatever it is. Or maybe you want to talk about how you're going to finance the vacation you're taking next summer, and so you want to get a savings plan in place now so you have the vacation of your dreams. So number one, schedule an appointment. Ask them when is a good time to have this conversation. And then number two, be specific about what that conversation is going to entail. And so an example would be, hey, Eric, I want to find out when is a good time to have a conversation with you about our trip next summer and how we're going to save for it so it can be the best vacation we've ever had. When you approach it that way, it diffuses your spouse. It gives them time to think about what it is you want to talk about, and it gives them a framework of what's going to be discussed so they feel confident going into that conversation. Now, it sounds silly to treat these kinds of things like so serious, but you can do this with any part of your life if there's anything that's bothering you. And I learned that really early on, that you can just make an appointment to have a serious conversation, because what I used to do is let things get bottled up and I wouldn't bring them up and I didn't know when a good time was. And then I would start to feel so much anxiety and depression and sadness because I had this thing I needed to get off my chest and I just never knew when a good time was. And so it works in any area, right? You can say, can we sit down because I've been having this problem and I don't know if it's real, or maybe you can help me work through it. And it just gives your spouse an opportunity to anticipate that and think about it instead of you just throwing it at them when they're not mentally or emotionally prepared to handle it. And so it's a great communication tool. It works fantastic when you apply it to finances. If you feel like you need it, you could try to set up a regular meeting with your spouse. I'm not sure I would recommend that straight off the bat if you guys don't have a good working relationship around finances. But, everybody's unique. Every marriage is unique. Every relationship is unique. And so whatever you think will work for you and your family, that's a great strategy. But schedule the appointment, stick to the topic, let your spouse trust that you're going to stick to the topic, and it'll just ease some of the discomfort. And you may find over time that it gets easier and easier to have conversations about finance. So I hope this was helpful for you guys. Come back next Friday for another Friday financial tip. If you liked what I shared today, like and subscribe my channel, and I'm super grateful to have you.